So in today's second reading, Paul is talking to people in a congregation in a place called Corinth. Do you know what he's talking about? Probably not. How many people here know what he's talking about? See, nobody else knows what he's talking about either, because it's a very long passage. But here's what he was talking to them about. He said a long time ago, he said to them, you know what, there's people in a congregation in Jerusalem, and they are very hungry. They need food. And he said this to a bunch of congregations, and he said, they don't have any food. We got to help them. And everybody said, okay, yeah, we're going to help. We're going to collect food, and you're going to take it to them. But now, the Corinthians were like, well, maybe there won't be enough food for us. Maybe we won't share. And so Paul's like, wow, there's people, they're starving. You got plenty. You should help them out. And that was what, actually, we don't know from the letter whether they actually got on with it and did it or not. But that's one of the stories that we have where we understand in the Bible that when people are hungry, we need to help them. We need to help out folks. So one of the things that Miss Jennifer was talking about this morning when we started the service with the announcement, she said, we're going to help people in our community who are hungry because we got food that we can make into casseroles. So we're going to give people these tins, which you can bake in, right? Have you ever baked in stuff like this? Could be a new experience. Could be a new experience for a number of people. But we're going to bake in the tins like this because we can give them away and freeze them. We don't have to worry about getting them back. And then there's instructions here. How many, are you good at following instructions? No, I'm not either. But there are instructions here on what people can do. There's a couple different ways, a couple of different casseroles that we can make. And we're going to freeze these things, and we're going to give them to a couple of shelters because there's people there, and they rely on congregations like ours to either send people with food and say, here, we have dinner for you, or if there aren't congregations that have food ready, they can pull these out of the freezer and say, okay, we're going to heat these up, we're going to cook them, and then we're going to give them to people, and people will be able to have food. And it's one of the ways that we can do the same kind of thing that Paul was asking his congregation in Corinth to do, to make sure that we share with others so that other people have food. And that's one of the ways that we can share God's love with people. And if we do this now, then towards the end of the summer when they don't have enough people around to cook, they can do that. So can you do one thing for me to help, or for us to help out? Here's what I want you to do, because people are going to forget that we talked about this now. And they're going to forget that Miss Jennifer told them this at the beginning of the service. So at the end of the service, as people are going out, you hold up these things and remind them. Can you do that? Thank you. Because that would help, because people just, I forget that stuff too. We'll all forget. So we got 2 more weeks, 2 weeks. We can do this next week also, and bring them back on the 13th. All right, let's say a prayer. Dear God, thank you for blessing us. Thank you for blessing us with many things, especially the food we have to eat. Help us to share so that others also feel your love.